Hello everyone, in this video we will solve the question that is best time to sell, buy and sell the stock. So it is 121 question on the LeetCode and it is an easy level question. So it is usually asked during like big interviews. If interviewer wants to set an environment asking you the questions, so he will ask you the basic question first of all. So he would expect you to solve it quickly so he can like go on to next question accordingly. If you are able to solve this, so he will increase the level of the questions. So let's see what is this question about. So it is written that say you have an array of for which the ith element is the price of a given stock on day I. So that means if we are given this array, so basically 7 is the price of stock on the day 1, that is day 1, and 1 is the price of the stock on day 2. Similarly this the 6 is the price of stock on day 5. So similarly that's all the prices of the stocks on particular days. So if we are permitted, or you were permitted to complete at most one transaction. So basically we can only buy a stock and we have to sell it. So only we can do it only one time. So we have to buy one stock and sell it, just that. So design an algorithm to find maximum profit. So note, you cannot sell a stock that you buy one before you buy one. So basically if we are on this value, that is 7, so we cannot buy a stock of 3 and sell it. So if we have not purchased it, or we are not at that index, so we have not bought it, so it won't work. So in this example, that is 7 1 5 3 6 4. So if we buy if we buy 7 stock of price 7, so we won't be able to sell it because it will lead to a loss. All the values are smaller than 7. So and instead of getting into a loss, we won't buy a stock at all. So if we are at value 1, then if we buy a stock of value 1, then we can sell it on day 3, or its price will be the maximum profit that we can get, it will be 5 minus 1, that will be 4. And if we sell it on at this price, that is 3, the maximum profit will be 2. And if we sell it on this day, that is 6 value, then the profit will be 5. That will be our maximum profit. So that's how we can find that maximum profit out of all. So for all values we can find that. So if we are given an array whose all the values are in decreasing order, that is the 7 is larger than other values. So if we buy a stock on any day, so we won't be able to sell it. So it will lead to a loss. So that's why instead of getting into loss, we won't buy a stock at all. So you can see all the values are in decreasing order. If you buy like a stock of rupees 4, so you won't be able to sell it because all the values or the prices of the stocks are less than the current price that we have bought the stock on. So let's see and dive into the solution. So the first solution that interviewer will expect you to like tell is the brute force approach. So you can think of this brute force approach easily because you're given an array. So you will think that you will have to use 2 loops. That is the most probable solution. So we will have to linearly traverse through this array, and for every index we will check every element after that index. So basically if we are on 7, so we will run a loop that will be, if this is I is on 7, then j will be from I plus 1, that is from 1. So it will start from this index, that is 1, and it will traverse all the elements after I. So it will check if we can get any maximum profit. So we will maintain a result variable, and it will keep updating according to the value that we are getting. So we will for every I, we are traversing j for every element after I. So that is a lot of time. So it will be approximately O of n square approach, because for every element we are iterating over whole array after that particular element. So this approach is good, but interviewer will expect you to optimize it further. So you can see I have written pseudocode also for this approach. I will run from 0 to n minus 1, and j will run from I plus 1 to n minus 1 similarly. So we will check if a price of j is greater than I, that is if I is at 7, and if like I is at 1. So if the price of j will start from 5 is greater than I, so yes, we will then check if our result variable, so we will update the result variable to max of the previous result and the price that of j, that is 5, minus the price of I, that is 1, and it will be 4. So that's how we will update our result variable. So he will the interviewer will ask you to optimize the approach further. So there will be optimal approach, and you would be knowing that. So because this is not an optimal approach, you are using 2 loops, so you may be able to optimize that. So let's find out the optimal solution. So in this solution, basically you have to observe one thing, that we have to only care about the minimum value that we are getting, and then we will find its like difference between the minimum value and the current value, and check if it is greater than the maximum profit that we were getting. Then we will update the maximum profit. So we have to maintain a minimum value. First of all, the variable we have to maintain. So I have written the pseudocode. You can see these are the two important steps, or the two only steps that you have to follow. So basically we will check if a current value is less than the minimum value, then we will update the minimum value to the current value. So that was one step, and we will check if the value is not smaller than current. So we will check if we can get a maximum profit so by subtracting that the minimum value from that value, and we will check if the maximum profit is greater, the previous maximum profit is greater, or the current value minus the minimum value is greater. So then we will update the maximum profit. So maximum profit will contain our result. So let's run this on this example. So I will maintain a minimum value variable. So first of all, we will initialize it to int max, that is maximum positive infinity. So we will check, I will be at this index, and we will check if 7 is smaller than this index, or this int max. So yes, 7 is smaller, so we will update it to 7. So these are in if else blocks. So actually this will be if the minimum value is like greater than the current value, then we will do this step. Else we will check if the max profit, we can increase the max profit. So at this index we have like updated our minimum value, so we won't process anything on this index, and we will just jump to the another index. So we will come to this index. So actually now we will check if 1 is smaller than 7. So yes, it is smaller than 7. So basically we are not getting any profit here. So now we will buy this stock. So actually we will update it to 1 now, because 1 is smaller than 7. So now I will increment to next index, because these are in if else blocks. So now I will be here. So now you can see this is not smaller than minimum, so we won't run into this condition. Actually we will see this condition. Now we will check max profit, or max profit, I will write max profit for 0 first of all. So now we will check if max profit will be maximum of 0 comma the current value, that is 5 minus the minimum value. You can see minimum value, that is 1. So we will check. So it will be 4. So 4 is greater. So yes, we have found a maximum profit for this till this index. So now our maximum profit is 4. So now we will increment to the next index. So now I will be at this index. Now 3 is also greater than 1. So we will again not run into this condition. We will check this condition, max profit. So we will find, so here max profit will become, that is, it will be 3 minus 1. So it will be 2. So it will not be updated. So it will stay as it is. So I will write only, let's remove this. So max will be staying 4 only, because we are getting better profit than this index. So now I will update to next index. So I will be coming at this index, that is 6. So now we will check if minimum value. So now if we check, so 6 is greater than 1. So we won't run into this condition, and we will check for the maximum profit. So maximum profit we will be able to get as max, the previous max that was 4, and the new max, that will be the current index value, that is 6, minus the minimum value, that is 1. So it will be 5. So now you can see our max profit has got updated to 5. So now for this index I will increment to next index, that is this 5th index. So value will be 4. So now our previous max was now 5. So now we will check 4 minus 1, that is 3. So now again out of those 5 will be maximum. So we have found our maximum profit out of this array, and this is our value that we want to output. So you can see we just maintain a minimum variable, and we check for every index if the minimum we can get any maximum profit from the current index minus the minimum value. If we have got a minimum value at this index like this, so we won't like process anything on this, we will just increment. So these are if else condition. Actually if this happens, so it will do this, otherwise it will go into another condition. If the value is greater than the minimum value, then we will check for maximum profit. If the value is less than minimum value, then we will just update the minimum value and increment to next index. So it will be an O of n time solution, because we are just traversing array one time, and we are only maintaining our minimum and maximum variables. So let's find out the code, and let's see so how to code this. So actually I've written the code in C++ and Python, so I will share the code in description. So in this we are given the prices array. So I have written these steps. So these actually increases the input and output time of your code. So you can use it these in like programs to increase your time complexity. So I have initialized a minimum price variable to int max, that is positive infinity, or then we have initialized a maximum profit variable to 0. And for every index I will iterate from 0 to size of this array. So we will check if the prices is price at that particular index is less than the minimum price. So minimum price is int max, so it will be less than that at first index. So we will update the minimum value. if it is not so, if it is not less than the minimum value, then we will check if the maximum profit that we can get will increase or not. So we will check if prices minus minimum value is greater than max profit, then we will update our max profit to that value, and after this loop ends, so we will get our final answer, so we will return the max profit. So this was the code in Python, like C++. Let's meet it. So I will also show you the code in Python. So I have yeah, you can see this has got submitted. So let's see the Python code. So I will share these code in the description, so you can refer from there. So in Python, so we are getting a list of prices, so you can see. So I have initialized a result variable, and I have initialized the minimum variable to int max. So in you can see int max can be calculated by its value is 2 raised to power 32. So in Python we write these this syntax to make it a power of like 2, and then it will be 2 raised to power 32 minus 1. So this is the positive infinity in Python, or you can use system, you can include a system library and you can say system dot max size. So that is also a different approach. So for this also we are running iterating through the array, that is from I will run from 0 to length of the array or prices list. So then we will check if prices is less than minimum, so we will update our minimum value to that particular price, and then we will check if it is not so, or you can write so we will check if this price is greater than the if the price minus minimum price is greater than the result, then we will simply update our result to that maximum profit that we are getting. So we will return the result. So let's see if this code runs. So yes, it got submitted, you can see. So it takes less memory than 72 point, you can see that. So this was the code in Python, so I will share this code in description. So guys, if you like this video, do subscribe this channel, and do like this video and share this video. And if you find it useful, then please do watch do check out my full playlist that I'm sharing for these codes and all the algorithms that you will be asked in interview. So thank you for watching guys, thank you.